Hello everyone and welcome. We are here, we are live, and we are ready to go. I actually was going to start, I have it selected here, Munar 4. Munar 4 is a lander that's sitting on the surface of the moon. It was doing seismic scans. It's sitting in the Munar lowlands, but very, very close to the Midland craters. And I was going to try and start, I was going to start this episode by attempting to move it, and I was going to start with it, and then I went out and looked at it, and it is in the pitch of black on the night side of the moon. In fact, it just went into the night side of the moon. So I set myself up an alarm to be checking on it in 3 days, because that's how long the Munar night is. So we're back here at the Space Center. Let's get some things accomplished. Number one is, with all the shenanigans from last week, I do have 254.2 science to spend, so let's get in here and spend it. And as usual, I've kind of pre-eyed what I'm looking at. One of the things I am looking at is this one, space exploration. Lots of nifty doodads. One of the things that first got me, though, was the 1.875 meter heat shield. I have a 1.875 meter Mark II capsule, but I don't have a heat shield that will fit under it. I want to use those capsules rather than the roly-poly round capsules because, you know, well, the end of last week, we ended up having a bit of a tumble down a hill. I want to try to avoid those kind of things. So this is one of the ones that also has so the Road Max. It has rover wheels, it has the repair kits, storage stuff, extra life support containers, lights to deploy, ladders to deploy, some more of these, starting to get into these these deployable experiments. So all good stuff there. And the other one I'm looking at is miniaturization. Again, thinking about EVA science. Speaking of which, I have the EVA experiment kit, which is a lot of fun and brings in a lot of science. New probe body, the GOO EVA sampler, upgrades to storage capacity for experiments. So all really, really good stuff. And I'm really thinking of working, maybe this stream, the next stream, maybe the next one, of working towards finishing off the Moon program strategy. And just to remind people, the Moon program strategy is this one, which if I plant a flag on the moon, I get 100,000 Kerb bucks and 75 reputation. Actually, no, that's what it was advancing me. I'll get 25,000 Kerb bucks and 75 reputation, not insignificant, but it penalizes me heavily if I abandon this now that I've accepted it. So I want to get this done. I want to put a Kerbal, so I want to start thinking about building something to do that. Oh, let's see, we've got the science, let's get into active contracts. I got this fly a plane up to 2,500 meters. I want to do that one right away. I have orbit for 1 week. Jebediah and one of my Michaels are up there, and they're less than a day away from that. In fact, it's even telling me that right here. Right? Yeah. We're very... Oh, no. Maybe that's not what this... I think this is what it's saying. Whatever. They're close to the end of it. I got this geostationary satellite contract that I also want to do. And then we got to recover Michael A from orbit. We've already recovered him or her from her capsule. Just got to bring her down to the surface. So that's not much. But the geostationary one I want to get going, because if I go to the Career Evolution contract pack and take a look at, where is it here? Is it under Moon Exploration? I think it is. There are all these various moon things that unlock the moment I get the geostationary contract done. So I want to do that one. What else am I looking at? What else am I looking at here under new contracts? Oh, under Collect Science. Always like getting the easy ones. Under Collect Science, we have get some science data from space around the moon. I got tons of stuff orbiting the moon right now, and we'll be going back to the moon, so grab that one really quickly. Under Comm Relays, I'm going to put another relay around the moon. And my plan for this, here, let's just accept it, is I got this contract to put something in geostationary orbit around Kerbin. I have no reason for that. So I was thinking, after I get it, satisfy that geostationary contract, why not shuffle it over to the moon? It can act as another relay. Can always use more relays around the moon. And under Kerbal Academy, where's that one? Right there. These Kerbal Academy contracts, to remind people, are contracts where you actually pay out money. I've already done, I'm in the process. No, I've already done the advanced piloting one. It's giving me another one where you spend money, you get the Kerbal to do a particular activity, and then that Kerbal gets extra experience for that activity. We've already done this advanced piloting one, which is to change your inclination around Kerbin by 45 degrees. But now I also have the engineering school one, which is to build Kerman near Munar 5, which is a lander, an uncrewed lander that's sitting on the surface of the moon. And he has to do some repairs. And there's nothing really wrong with it. It's just the contract says he has to do some repairs. And again, it costs 125,000 Kerbucks, so do make sure you have the money. I have over 1 million, so I'm doing pretty good. But it gets Bill extra experience, and it also adds an extra bit of spice to my crewed moon landing to actually have a target that you have to land beside. I thought that would be rather fun, so we're going to grab that one. Okay, I think that is largely getting all the preliminaries out of the way. So let's close alarm clock. Let's close this. Let's get into the space plane hangar. And we're going to launch, or not launch, take off in our Juno 2. And get this reach 2,500 meter altitude contract. So that is this contract here. Well, it's the only one we're interested in. We'll just shuffle it over. I'm just making sure of the fine print, but I don't think there's anything. Nope. Not to have any oxidizer aboard. Is there oxidizer aboard this? I don't think there is. Oxidizer? Just noticing it's not green. I'm just looking at all of mine. There's no oxidizer on this thing. You're fine. I also want to, because one time these authority limiters reset on me, and that cost Warrior King his life, so I don't want to repeat that. Valentina, sorry, you're not cleared for duty yet. Let's pick another pilot here. Rob DV's flown this thing a few times. Oh, and that's all we got. Okay, so it's got to be Rob DV. Sorry, Rob. You become the official pilot of this thing, it seems. All right, let's launch. Get this out of the way. Orbit in a plane over 2,500 meters for a week. Yeah, knock them all off at the same time. Okay. Here we go. So, let's put that on terrain. I have, by the way, upgraded. I think that's half the reason why this persistent rotation window suddenly decided to make its appearance. I have upgraded to 1.11.2 and reinstalled all the mods. And I have me a feeling... Okay, settings. Not always visible. Put that on the toolbar. Now there should be a toolbar thing. That's why some of this stuff has gone back to the way they were. Oh, for goodness sakes. Am I missing where persistent rotation is here? Don't be like this. Alright, I'm going to put up with it for now. We'll figure it out later. Okay, SAS on, throttle up, view on chase, lights are on. Again, all we got to do is get to 2,500 meters and land again. So, I'm still always nervous about this thing. Okay, brakes and throttle. Okay, wait. What the heck was that? What was that? Something exploded. Oh, for goodness sakes. Engine exploded. Okay, that's Kerbalism. Thank you, Kerbalism. Well, okay, we'll recover. Try this again. Roll out another plane. Ah, golly gosh. We're off to a great start. Okay, we'll recover that. Fix up that engine. Do another one. Thankfully, nothing came of that. Yep, the left engine exploded. Okay, checklist off. Let's try this again. Rob DV is in the pilot seat. Again, we're checking authority limiters. That is good. Okay, we're launching once again. What fun Kerbalism is. Did I upgrade persistent rotation, Philippe asks, and the answer to that question is yes. There is an upgraded version of persistent rotation out there, and this is the upgraded version. There was some crackety nonsense going on with persistent rotation. Then again, maybe I didn't, because I'm really getting annoyed by this. Oh, there it is. That's hey, there we go. Okay, lights on, that on. View to chase. This on terrain. Throttle up. And checking authority limiters. Paranoid about that. All right, let's try it again this time. So there, and engage. Okay, nothing exploded this time. And we will pitch up gently. This thing really, I'm not sure I'm a big fan. I don't really like this plane, I gotta be honest. But I'm really limited for plane parts still. Doing a little flippy-roo. Figure might as well, while I'm at it, head over to, I can't remember if I've done the grasslands or not, but collect some science either above the grasslands, or if the grasslands are done, to head over to the nearby highlands. Might as well do that at the same time. Oh, and I might as well put on, getting all about my autopilot. I love me this autopilot. I want to put on, is it that, and the cruise control controller. That's what I'm looking for. And turn that off. And we can actually put in our altitude of 2,500 meters. And we'll just continue along the heading that we're at. Let's put on vertical motion and do that master switch. There it goes. And it's going down. Oh, wait, we've already hit our altitude. Oh, silly. Oh, we got some funkiness happening there. Okay. There we go. Oh, master switch off. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I had my autopilot on. Now, am I collecting any data? I am not. So we've already done this over the grasslands. Let's head over this way towards the highlands. Alright, that's... Got my autopilot going and then realized that... let's put that back on. And I had this window on. Whoop. There we go. Weird. And somehow the... What? And then I got this coming up. Oh, I don't know. Altitude equals 0. Altitude certainly doesn't equal 0. Okay, so we got some working outs to do. Nothing like upgrading on the fly. Yeah, I just upgraded, booted this up, made sure it worked, and then that's about it. So I've not really put this to the test in 11.2. Okay, still looking for Highland Science. Let's time warp a bit. Here, we can put this back to 2,500. To time warp off, put on the master switch. Vertical motion. There we go. Oh, wait, master switch off. Here, let's let this level off. Master switch off. SAS on. Okay, here we go. So, all right, we're collecting science here over the highlands, so we'll start doing ourselves a little bit of a spin around type of maneuver here. Go around in a circle, then we'll head back to the KSC. All right. And the one that takes the most amount of time is always the barometer of the science I got on here. It's going to take 14 minutes, so we'll speed up a little bit here. And we'll be very careful. We have a nice altitude over the terrain, so... if things go wrong, we should be able to recover. And this contract as well does require me to land back on the runway. The other one was like land anywhere you want. But this one I do have to go back to the runway. Okay, about 12 minutes of 3 times time warp speed left on the barometer. So it's that's 4 minutes in our real time, provided nothing goes wrong. So a little bit more science. You know, with those rover parts, I should build little rovers and just kind of park them on the shores, park them on the grasslands to collect that surface science. I'm nervous about landing this thing on any kind of terrain other than the runway, because I really distrust these spindly landing gears. Keep ourselves relatively at the same altitude. Rob has done this dizzying flight many times before. I don't know why this changed its... can't get the size to go back. We should also be... let's open up alarm clock. Not that... we just... oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, the... okay. Every time... okay, I gotta get on to click... doot. I gotta get that click. Click-through blocker mod is set so that when I hover over a window, that window becomes active, so I lose control of the plane. I don't like that. I was just coming up here that, yeah, 4.5 hours, and Jebediah and Michael will be ready to come down from their week-long space mission. So we'll definitely be getting to that. We also have the Moon R3, 6.5 days from its encounter with the moon. Probably not getting to that today, but hopefully in the near future. It took the longest journey around the moon to collect science that might have ever done. It's been up there forever. Okay, 4 minutes of time warping left. Again, that's 4 minutes of 3 times speed, so really just a little over a minute. Oh my gosh, thank you very much, SAR Productions, for that generous donation. Writes, thank you for teaching me orbital mechanics. Yeah, orbital mechanics are fun. It's only, I used to say it was only rocket science. But I will say, I don't think the game could do, I think, a better job teaching people that stuff. So if those tutorials are helping people out, that's great. Thank you very much. All right. 1.5 minutes to go. Okay. I think we'll go one more round and then start heading ourselves back here. I'll take time warp off. Here's the Kerbal Space Center straight ahead. In fact, we will adjust our altitude here to 1500 and put on our autopilot. It's always a little scary. I had it set so it wouldn't dive. Obviously, I got to get into these advanced options. You can adjust the advanced options so at how quickly it will go down to the altitude you want. This thing dives down pretty quickly by my taste, and it's really, 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 really making me nervous. Okay, get up. Yeah, I don't like that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is going on here? Yeah. I got to get into the settings. That was really scary. Dove down, and now it's going back up. I don't know what it's doing. Oh, I panicked, and I changed this number. Okay, I'm going to turn this all off. That's it. I'm done with the autopilot. I got to get in there and play with that. I also got to fix click-through blocker. That was almost a disaster. Fly this thing normal-like. Oh, yes, and I got waypoints on. I don't like that. Everything has to be reset. That's Waypoint Manager dropping these waypoints, but I like the settings to say... Where are the settings here? That only active waypoints are on, because I don't like seeing those all the time. It's just too much stuff. It's the reason why I like the autopilot, because when it's working right, when it's set up right, it makes me feel better about time warping during flight. Okay, let's cut throttle here. We're going very fast. Get ourselves down to the runway, and then this contract is done. We're going a little too fast. Maybe hopefully we'll slow down a lot while we do this turn here. Yeah. Maybe turn a little more aggressively than I normally would. Slow down. Just flaring up and down just to kind of slow down a bit. There we go. That feels better. Okay, we're going to have to make some adjustments to some of these mods in just a moment, but let's get down to the surface first. And then we'll look at that. Come on, where is it? We're down. Yep. Brakes. Sun's setting, so I lost my shadow. Barometer, I don't need this window no more. Alright. And once we stop, that should be this contract complete. And there it is. All right. Excellent. Close that. Let's get into here. Whoa, what do we got? Autopilot Module Manager. Let's get into this GUI, and we're going to get into the advanced settings. What I didn't like, there is a setting in here. I thought... Oh, maybe I need to play with this. Oh, here. Max climb angle, 30 degrees. Don't like that. I'm going to make that half of that, so 15 degrees, so that it won't pitch up and down quite so violently. I think that's pretty good. Okay, here. Put that away, and we will recover. Yeah, we got to go to Diagnosis. Deinonychus is saying to check click-through blocker, which is exactly right, but I think I have to be on the main screen to check click-through blocker, and I got a weird screen here. This makes me nervous. Cover. Okay, we're here. So click-through blocker is right here, and it's set to mouse, and I want to change that so it says click. So now it's when I click on Windows that window becomes active. That fixes that part up. Okay, what do we got next on the agenda? Yes, let's do that geostationary one. So let's actually, the sun's setting, let's go to the next day. All right. And this should actually be a pretty quick build. So I have, let's see, let's just get rid of the contract window for now. What I'm going to do, this is going to end up being a MunRelay, and I've made MunRelays before. My last MunRelay is this one, MunRelay 4. So this one is going to be MunRelay 5. And all we need to do is take this and juice it up a little bit so that it has the delta V it requires to first get a geostationary orbit and then head off towards the moon. So, and also actually what I want to do while I'm thinking about it is I also want to put on, because I've added this mod since the last time I made a relay, the KOS computer, and I want to up the disk space just a little bit and also have it load on my boot file, which has all kinds of useful files for it. So right now this MunRelay, which is identical to MunRelays that are actually around the moon right now, has a delta V of 1,242, and I worked at a budget for this to be 1,670. So I think all I really need to do is just add on a bit more fuel. So let's get to our fuel cans. Let's get, and we'll organize these by mass. So what's a drain valve? What? Okay, whatever. I don't care. So my smallest one, you know, I was playing with the Oscar A and it confuses me. I want to show somebody, I want to show some things about the Oscar A compared to the Oscar B. The Oscar A is coming from restock, is my understanding, and it's half the size of the Oscar B by appearance. And if you go to mass, it's half the mass of the Oscar B. So you would think it should have half the fuel of the Oscar B, but if we click on the Oscar B, it has 18 units of liquid fuel, yet the Oscar A, remember it's half the mass, has 4.1 units of liquid fuel. So why, I don't understand why it has so little liquid fuel. You know, you would end up like, that has the same mass as the Oscar B does, 2 Oscar A's, but it's way, way less fuel. Makes no sense to me. So I'm not gonna, it makes you not want to use the Oscar A. I don't know why that's like that. Okay, so here we are. That is now 2,083. So that is more than what I need. So let's take off some fuel. Again, my budget for this is 1,670. A little more fuel. That's 1,764. So it's almost 100. Yeah, let's go a little more. Better to err on the side of, that's 1,847 meters per second at delta V. That should be able to do it easy. 0.27 thrust to weight ratio should be fine. Batteries on it I know are fine. Let's just move things around just a little bit, so a little more. Maybe take these lights. So things are more in the middle. These lights should be blink on and should be kind of amberish in color, I believe. What happens when I turn them on now? Blink on. Am I crazy? Why aren't they? Whatever. We'll work it out. Lordy, I'm thinking this might be about it. You know what I might just do now that this has some extra height? I think these guys can spin around the other way. I think it'll look a little better in the retracted position to have them this way around. Let me slide them up a little bit. Makes the whole package a little more compact, I think. And then when they extend, try them the other way. There we go. And retract. Nice. Nicey nice. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the whole thing. Let's just take a quick look at contracts, make sure I'm not missing anything. So the contract we're interested in is put a relay satellite around the moon. So that is new mission. This is the MunRelay 5. And the other mission is to put up a geostationary satellite. Might grab some science while we're there too. So now we can select MunRelay 5. There we go. Make sure, always want to check the fine print here. Destination moon for the relay, get into orbit, make sure your apoapsis is below 1,100 kilometers, which it will be. Make sure it has at least 5 megameters worth of antennas. It does. And for the geostationary one, it's just get into that orbit, 0 inclination. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. So we just need to get this guy into orbit. What is the mass of this thing? 756 kilograms. That should be easy enough. Let's take a look at our boosters. 756 kilograms. Well, the Swivel 1 booster, this little fellow right here, is supposed to be able to lift 930 kilograms. So that should be that. I might just change. Let's just change up that decoupler. Get the smaller. That one. Put on a fairing. Might need to come out just a little bit. There we go. As always, we'll put this on clamshell deploy, go up like 4 sides, a little bit extra on the force. What's that do? 3682 meters per second of delta V. What's tucked in here? Oh, I got reaction wheels tucked in there. Because this is an old school booster before I had the bigger reaction wheels. I don't know. I'm thinking this is pretty good. Let's go through action groups. Action group number 5 is going to be to just deploy the fairing. Action group 0 is going to be to extend antennas. Yep. And I gotta check my staging. Release the engine. Let's take this off the staging so I don't have to look at that at all, because I'm going to do that with an action group. Then that gets released, then this and this gets released, and that should be able to go to the moon. 3625 meters per second of delta V. Thrust to weights. 1.69. 1.32. Could be a little bit more. I like 1.33. It's not really important to be exactly 1.33. That's just me. Okay, let's see. I've checked the fine print. It has control. Probe has been configured. Actually, has it? I don't think I have configured the probe. Why am I way out here? There we go. Because this thing has no other science to do. Whoops. Yeah, and it's waiting to do the site experiment. That is unnecessary. So configure unmanned experiments. You do nothing. No experiments for you. Okay, that's good. Science doesn't matter because I've gotten all the science in orbit around Kerbin and the moon. Power generation is fine. Electrical storage is fine. Antenna strength is fine. Antenna speed is fine. Data storage is fine. Propulsion is fine. RCS is irrelevant. Parachutes are irrelevant. Thermal protection is irrelevant. Lights, check that. Upgrade. Should I upgrade anything? I don't think I need to. 77 ignitions on the Ant doesn't need it. Thrust to weight ratio is good. It will test the fairing and we'll do the state. I think it's good. I'm tempted to not even do a test launch. I'm tempted just to do it. Let's just check. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, saving. Yeah, let's do it. I'm just going to do it. No tests, no nothing. We're going to do it. There are no Kerbals aboard. If things go bad, you know, we just lose a rocket. It's not even an expensive one. All right, so again, oops, what do we got here? Autopilot, go away. There we go. Let's bring up our contracts so we can take a look at them. Switch this to MunRelay 5. There we go. And open that up so we can keep an eye on them. There. All right, and we're going to use KOS once again to do the orbital insertion. So we're going to run our launch program. We are going into 0 inclination and altitude of 80 kilometers. And this should take care of everything for me. Always nervous when I run things or I let things go to when I hand control to a computer script, especially when it's a computer script that I wrote. Makes me even especially more nervous. But I think we're off. I think we are going good. All right. Tobias says, geez, you have a lot of mods. Yeah, I do. I do have. I don't know. I have a lot. I guess so. I don't have a lot of part mods, to be quite frank. So most of what you see in this series are things that you can pretty much build the same thing in stock. The mods that I do have really more affect, well, make the game, well, affect aesthetics like, you know, I've got clouds, and affect things like Kerbalism, so affect gameplay. And then a lot of little support mods like this contract Windows Plus, which I really, really like, or the Contracts Plus window to manage contracts. All right, let's watch this way. KOS seems to be doing all right. Pitching it over. And hopefully I've taken care of all the little bugs that have appeared up before. We'll see. And is it? Yep, 20 kilometers. It knocks back the throttle, adjusting thrust to weight ratio to 1.1. So once you get up into the upper part of the atmosphere, you don't need as much thrust as that. And really, it's just going to keep riding this up. This is a single stage, so it's just this should do the whole thing, get it all into the orbital insertion. Next event is going to be at 50 kilometers where it stages the fairing, which is always a little bit nerve-wracking. I didn't test the fairing, did I? So hopefully that will be okay. Noticing a notification here. Oh, it's just that the contract's complete. That's fine. I don't need that. That was the previous contract to get up to that 2,500 meters. Fairing, there they go. Well, that was very undramatic. I like it that way. You know what? I can time warp this. Why don't I go into physics warp here? I don't... Whoa, whoa, that's why. Okay, 2 times. Oh, we must have reached our target apoapsis. We did. Time warp our way... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Doesn't seem to like the higher time warps. It starts to get all wobbly and wonky on me. Almost into space. Here, let's take it off the time warp. There we go. So it's setting up our circularization burn, coming up in 68 seconds, getting itself ready. And what do we got here? Oh, Jebediah and Michael are ready to come back down to the surface. Awesome. We don't. They're in no hurry. We'll deal with that after we send this thing on its way. Okay, got about a minute to the burn. Almost 400 meters per second for the burn. It's starting it very early. Yes, it does. Yeah. So it's starting well before this was saying it because it wasn't going to go to full thrust. Because this engine, remember, went right from the surface. So if this went to full thrust, it would actually be a huge thrust to weight ratio that isn't necessary. And our target is an 80 by 80 orbit. Alright, periapsis has just come out of the surf. There we go. A little bit of a camber wobble. Reducing throttle at the end. There you go, 80.4 by 80.1. Very, very happy with that. Program is ended. We are done with that. All right. Let's get this thing heading off to the moon, and then we'll get to Jebediah and Michael. Might as well hang on to this booster. In fact, what I will do is reduce its thrust a lot because it's got a berserk thrust to weight ratio right now. That's a little more sane. It's got 68 meters per second left in it. Might as well use it. Okay, we are going to the moon. Where are we? Here we go. Oh, no, we're not. What am I thinking about? We're not going to the moon. We're going to this geostationary orbit. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Okay, we can do this burn anywhere. And we're looking for... That would have been a big mistake. We're looking for an apoapsis of 2,863.334 kilometers. Wow. That's too much. Let's bring this back. And I'm just watching my apoapsis here. It's giving me a projected apoapsis. Okay, well, we got 2,863. I'll get this as close as I can. 63. 2,863.33. Can I really get that precise? Oh, yes. There's 2,863.1. I think that'll do. Okay, that burn's coming up in a minute, so let's open up our KOS terminal again. Shouldn't have closed it. Switch to our rocket, and we should have a maneuver execution script here all ready to go. There it goes. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot we're supposed to go into a geostationary orbit. Or a keostationary orbit, I suppose. Now this won't... Oh, this is... Oh, it might be a little messed up. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Okay, let's abort this. My mistake. Here, I'm going to do this by hand. I'll explain in a second. There we go. Starting to burn. And we're going to have to stage. There we are. Now we're just on the ant. Why did I abandon that? Because that script cannot handle a staging event in the middle of all this. Something I'm continuing to work on. And I suddenly realized I had a staging event in the middle of that burn, and it's not very good at handling that. So we're going to have to just do this manually, but that's okay. It's not like we haven't done this before. Oh, this thing has a low thrust to weight ratio. See, can I do a little bit of time warping? Oh, wait, Alt. That. Little bit of time warping. Just go up to 2 times speed. The thrust to weight will improve as this thing continues to lose fuel. At least they got that. Oh, hello, Kettle. I'm glad you made it. You were saying you weren't so sure? You know, one thing, yeah, I don't... If I have ground stations turned on so that it can communicate around Kerbin from ground stations on the surface. If you didn't have ground stations, then something like this would have a purpose. But with the way I have this game set up, it really doesn't have a purpose. Okay, I'm going to take the time warp off. And again, what are we? 2,863. I'm going to more look at that than I am, I think. Than I am going to look at anything else. So we're at about 2,600 kilometers. 2,700 kilometers. Okay, slow down. Oh. 63. I don't think you have to be that precise anyway, but why not? That's good enough. So that is our apoapsis. Oh, that's 63 point. Yeah, it's close enough. And how long until we get out there? About an hour and 20 minutes. That's enough to get Jebediah. Is it enough to get... Oh, no, let's finish this off. One thing at a time. Let's not get silly. I forgot that, in case you're wondering, let's show you where Jebediah is. Jebediah is in this wacky orbit. And I'm like, I'm not 100% sure I can get Jebediah down. So we won't we'll do this all first. Okay. And there's no, no. Just got to get the apoapsis and periapsis right, and that is it. So, this should be pretty easy. 2863. That is... Let's pump this up a bit. Where's our apoapsis? It's way over there. What are you doing way over there? Oh, I'm sure it's fine. I'm getting way too picky. I'm sure it's fine. Stop fiddling. Just do it. Okay. There's our burn. Let's get ourselves out there. And this time we can have KOS do the burn for us. Run our expand script. And now that it's on a single engine, this thing shouldn't have any problems. Yeah, when I was trying to make something that can deal with the staging, sensing when staging needs to happen is not difficult with KOS. I'm able to do that okay. It was calculating how long should it burn for. I mean, the game does it, obviously, so it can be done, but the way staging works in KSP, internally, the way it keeps track of what's on what stage is very confusing. Oh, I could have run that yeah, I have a circularization script. I could have run that rather than running the... Oh, well. It's Griffin who noticed that. Don't you have a circularization script you could have just used? And I said, yeah, I do. But I forgot I had it. Could have made this burn automatically. All right. Here we go. And again, we're just waiting for these. We're looking for these contract parameters here to go green. That is full thrust. Okay, let's physics time warp again. For those people that don't know, you hold the Alt key to do a physics time warp. So that's now 2 times speed. So you can time warp during burns. I'm nervous to go to 3 times speed. I'm not going to do it. It's nice for these longer burns. Should be good. I'm always nervous about looking at this and there's something that I missed, like, you know, oh, you're supposed to put a thermometer on there or something like that, but I do not see anything of that nature, so that is good. Alright, these are green. It's just got to finish this off. Excellent. Burn complete. Program has ended. That is done. That is done. There is that. And geostationary orbit is pretty cool. Like when you time warp. Oh, I'm still in physics warp. There we go. You can time warp and, you know, Kerbin just sort of says you're right over that same spot all the time. Kerbin's not rotating relative to you, which actually looks very, very cool. Okay, let's send ourselves out towards the moon now. So we're setting the moon as a target. And I'm not sure exactly where this burn's going to need to be. Obviously, this is not what I'm used to doing for moon encounters. Oh, this way. There it is. Focus our view on the moon. And I'm just aiming to smack the moon right there. That's my whole plan. Obviously, I'll make an adjustment after this, but for now, that's my plan. Let's play around with the exact timing here. We can probably take off some... Oh yeah, we can take off some of this burn. Just adjusting this, there we go. So that we're just going to smack into the moon, but just to show people my goal clearly isn't to hit the moon. I have other relays. Where's the relay button? Why am I having trouble finding my relay button? There's the relay button. These are the relays that are currently there. Oh, yes! Ah, extra tricky. What I want is to have this satellite that I have in this geostationary satellite in the same orbit as this guy that's in a polar orbit, which means we need to match the plane. And if you look right now, we're coming in at pretty darn close to 90 degrees to that plane. I do not have the delta V to make that kind of plane adjustment, but that's not a problem. All you got to do is hop ahead orbits. Oh, and then I miss. Adjust the time at the same time. Boy, it's a lot of time adjustments. There we go. And notice how in a jumping ahead in orbit, how much my angle, my incoming angle has changed so much. So I think I got to hop ahead one more orbit. And again, adjust the timing again. Oh, it's about, oh boy. So we are going to have to make some kind of plane change. What was better, that, or if I go back in orbit? Or that? I think this one's better. That one I think is better. I'm trying to minimize this angle. But I am thinking that's probably as good as I'm going to get. So that burn's not coming up for a day and a half. So we're going to wait on that. We're going to use alarm clock. Give us an alarm. Give me 5 minutes warning. In a day and a half, we'll come back to that. In the meantime, let's go visit Jebediah. So, let's see here. They are in the Terrier 1-A3. Go. Is there a reason that I don't use McJeb? I feel, for me personally, I enjoy this whole process of, I like flying. I do like some bits of automation, but I find, for me personally, McJeb just gives me too much. There's too much power in McJeb. Now, that's not to fault anybody who uses McJeb. Everybody is their own thing with that. But for me, I don't like using the McJeb. I feel good about using KOS because I know those scripts very well because I had to write them. And I say when I have to write them, I'm the one that typed them for sure, but do know I learn a lot from other people and finding other people's scripts online and just talking about them and stuff. Anyway, we need to get ourselves down to the surface here. We have been up for our 7 days. We need to just return safely. And Michael A just needs to return safely as well. So, how are they doing up here as far as rate? They've gotten 7% of their lethal radiation dosage, and they are a little bit stressed. But that's okay. Just a little bit stressed. All right, where is the KSC? KSC right there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we're not going... Let's just... Okay, I was thinking about putting ourselves down near the KSC. That's clearly not in the cards, but let's try and put ourselves down in an ocean would be a good thing, given the roly-poliness of this. Our orbit... I mean, we could wait until until Kerbin rotates so that the KSC is underneath our orbit, but frankly, I don't care enough for that. So we have trajectories here. It is predicting where we are going to come down. You got to be a little bit careful with trajectories because it's thinking I'm going to come down with the whole craft, but of course it's just a pod on the top. So it actually usually predicts a little bit long. But I'm thinking that feels pretty good. We'll put ourselves down in the ocean around here. That's not too far from where the KSC is. Nope, I'm happy with that. What do you think, Jebediah? Are you happy with that? Jebediah's going, I'm perfectly happy with that. Let's do it. So again, we'll use KOS. And warp to here. And thank you, Iconsun from the Venya. I'm hoping I said that right. Thank you for the donation, Iconsun. I love KSP. I love KSP too. All right, let's run the X-Man script. Oh, I'm in the wrong... Okay, let's switch... Oh, yes, that's right. This thing had a... Okay. Switch to 0. Run that X-Man script. Okay, just to explain what happened just there. Jebediah is like, I don't need to hand piloting skills over to a computer. Too bad, Jeb. What happened there is this thing didn't have the hard drive space to hold the X-Man script because I forgot to upgrade it. And I had to switch to the computer that's in the KSC to run the script. You can actually compile and compress your scripts. The scripts are text files. You can't actually compress them. That means you can't edit them in the editor that's built into this. Without uncompressing them again. But it does mean they take up a lot less file space. And if I did that, I probably could have afforded to put it on here. But I didn't do it. I probably should. Alright, we are on our way down. How's our prediction from trajectories? Okay, close that. That feels pretty good. Alright. We are almost ready. 73 meters per second left. That, is an efficient use of resources as far as I'm concerned. This thing started with about 1900 meters per second at Delta V, but it has been doing lots of things and trucking out towards the moon. And doing flybys and 45-degree inclination changes, gravity assists. Having all kinds of fun, but fun's over. Time to come home. Time to come home. Munar 4 batteries are almost empty. I know why, because I turned the lights on it. Let's see here. Let's go to Munar 4. I love that I can do this from here. Because I was planning on... I can go to here and I can turn the lights off. That will save batteries. Alright. back to these guys. Shoot. There. Okay. Coming back down. Alright. There we are. I think I'm just going to eject right now. Yep. We are all set. We are all set. We are all set. There we go. And SAS goes off because there are no reaction wheels in this thing. We have no control of it at all. So it's just going to, now it will orient itself because it is weighted, so it's heavier towards the bottom. It will orient itself properly in the airstream. But really, I do want to get into, stop using these roundy capsules for these descents because they're just sketchy. These batteries are really badly placed. There's a very good chance they won't be long. They won't be with us for very long. They are right in the airstream. All right, and yeah, we're already getting the heat gauges on those batteries. That was a really dumb placement. I've since moved these batteries to a different location. But Jeb's flying the first one. Jeb's flying the prototype. Alright. We have lost communication. That's okay. I am stunned that these batteries didn't explode. Very surprised. But they seem to be okay. How far are we from the KSC? We're not too far from the KSC. That was a good landing. Good landing, Jebediah and Michael. See, as long as you put these things down in the ocean, they're fine. The moment you put them on the side of a hill, adventures ensue. As Bill and the other Michael found out last week. Again, coming down at night. Not the most ideal. See, while I'm doing, what else is going on here? Like, we got the MunRelay 5 burn coming up. Munar 4 is about a day and a half away from coming out of the night. I think I need to get going with my crude moon build. I think that should be the next step in all this. But right now, of course, we're recovering these folks. There we are. We are down. Excellent. Thank you, Ian. Ian says, keep the grind up. I sometimes enjoy grinding too much, is my issue. I actually, if I have a game I enjoy, I can grind in it forever. And I think sometimes I need to be mindful of that and not let things get out of control. So Jebediah is now up to level 2, even though he's yet to leave orbit about Kerbin, but that's because of the extra experience he got. Look, he got 8 experience points for doing that 45-degree inclination change from the Kerbal Academy. Oh, they did fly by the moon, too. So there was a couple of experience points for flying by the moon. So I'm not completely... I must have gotten 6 experience points from Kerbal Academy. Michael A is level 1, 4 experience points for her. Excellent. Okay, let's again warp to Sunrise. You should see me play an RPG sometime. No, you shouldn't. That's a lie. You definitely should not see me. Michael A's capsule's almost out of bat. Oh, I should get rid of those. I'll do that later. Yeah, in RPGs, you don't want to see me because I am the person who is like scouring every corner and opening every chest, terrified that I'm going to miss something. Let's take a look at, okay, that's the geostationary one. Orbit for a week is done. Michael A is done. And we now have stagnated research. No, I don't want to stagnate my research. Okay, we're going to get in here. We're building ourselves a Kerbalism mission. That's what we're going to do. We are on our way to the moon. Let's get rid of our checklist for now. This is going to be the Kerbalism 1. Oh my gosh. And the goal of this is to land on the moon. Probably won't be landing in this episode, but I'm thinking we're closing in, maybe seeing it next time. So I'm going to use the Mark II command pod that can hold 2 Kerbals and also looks very awesome because I now have the 1.875 meter heat shield, which can snugly fit under there. We'll also, while I'm thinking about it, put on some parachutes. We're going to put on these parachutes radially. You're not covering... Oh, I only got one. Why did I only get one? Because I'm hitting the wrong button. 2 times symmetry. There we go. Put them on radially. Oh, that does cover my flag. Oh, well. Can I get rid of the flag and then I'll stick a flag somewhere else? Where is it in all of this stuff? Isn't there somewhere where you can enable or disable the flag? Toggle flag. There we go. So no flag. Yeah, that should be good. So I'm going to build, and the reason why I'm putting on 2 rigs because I'm saving this spot for the escape system. I put an escape tower on there, like it's going to have this fella. There. Because especially when it like that, oh, that's just beautiful. Okay, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Let's see. We need a decoupler. Tell me I have 1 point. I don't have the bigger decouplers. We're going to fake it. So I'm tired. I don't have big decouplers. That is so annoying. Oh, it'll do. Not happy, but it will do. Okay. So I'm going to build what I think is the simplest way to do a crewed moon mission, which is going to be a single vessel. I don't have docking ports and I don't have RCS, so the whole Apollo style thing flat out isn't going to do it. I don't have the parts for it. You know what? Just hang on a sec. Let's save this. I notice I do have science. Let's see what I can dig up out of the science thing. Maybe there's some good parts that I can get. Because that little decoupler bugs me. I have 134 science. 137.4 science. Can I get... Oh, these are them. There's the bigger decouplers right there. That might be worth it. Just for bigger decouplers. Oh, there are my docking ports. Structural tubes. Lots of good stuff. These are airplane parts. That's RCS. That's a different thing. I don't have it. What's way down here? Oh, extra life support. They don't need that. Sorry, Kerbals. You don't need that. No, I'm going to grab this one. There we go. All right. Now we're going back in here. All right. Now I can lose this very, very ugly docking port or decoupler and get... Where is it? Ooh, what about this? Oh, that's pretty. Now I'm gonna be at this all the time. Okay, and there's also this one. That is 90 kilograms. That's 90 kilograms. They look exactly the same. And all have the same stats. Other than that is way cooler. So that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that. Okay. What I want to do. It needs to have. Let's start with using. I got lots of service module. The shroud off. This thing weighs a ton though. 150 kilograms. Like, you're way better off. Oh, this isn't that much lighter. I'll start with this and then we'll see where we go. Put on the interstage nodes. It gives you a nice sort of a thing there. What do we need in here? We're going to need a probe body because I honestly don't think I'm going to send up a pilot. We'll see. At least it'll give me the option as to not to send up a pilot. I now have the QB. The QB is nice and light. It has no extra SAS capabilities, I don't think. Remote pilot assistive. I know I'm going to put in the octo. I think the octo gives me, or the hex gives me more options. So we'll put in a hex probe core. We're going to put in the, of course, a KOS computer. And we're going to, let's just put on some fuel and get a feel for how this is going to go. So I do have, let's arrange these by mass. Wow, that's a 2.5 meter tank. I do have some. Just want to get this approximately. Where's the Terrier? Good old Terrier engine. I do have the Poodle engine as well. So, my plan, let's just get into the plan for all this, because I said the Kerbal thing I don't have. I do have docking ports now, but I don't have RCS, so I can't do the Kerbal thing. What I think I'm going to do is build something that will land, and then under that have a stage that will be the transfer stage out to the moon, with the idea that that stage will run out of fuel during our descents, and then we'll ditch it, it'll crash into the moon, we land something like this, and then this thing's able to come back as well. Now, by my budget, this thing needs to have between 860 and 1660 meters per second of delta V, and this is already in the ballpark. I think we're already getting close to it. I think I might be already on the right track. We need reaction wheels in there. I now have the bigger reaction wheels. These are the big ones, right? Yep. Stick those in there. Let's configure the probe. So configuring the probe, there's a surprising lack of science that these people are going to be able to do. They're going to be able to do a crew report. They'll be able to do EVA reports on the surface. I do now have the Don't I have this? The EVA. Oh, we do have some science. Where is is it under cargo? This guy, the EVA experiments. Give him that. Should probably give it some extra cargo contain. Okay. We're gonna need more space. We'll leave with that for now. How much space does that have? That has an extra 3 compartments. We'll put in an EVA kit. There's some space in the capsule too. Oh, I already put in an EVA kit, but I noticed playing around, it's really nice. Never fill these spaces right up. It's nice to always have an empty one so you can shuffle things around. And I do have the goo thing. Yes, okay. So I'm gonna put this here. Actually, I might want 2 of these cargo containers. All right. Let's think. Can these go on? No, they can go radially. I think I want 2 of these cargo containers. I'm just seeing if it's a doable thing. Do I have small structural parts yet? Not really. I have big-ass structural parts. Where can I put this? I want 2 of these, and I'm just trying to find a good spot to put them. I'm not doing a very good job of finding a good spot to put them. Is my issue. That's. I don't know, is that cheaty? Is that a little too glitchy? I might not care. Alright. We have 2 cargo containers now. Into the cargo containers, we're putting in some solar panels. The goo surface deploy McJob. The Probo Dobo Dying McJob. The science and a repair kit. Won't let me do that way. That way. Okay. Oh my gosh, we want lights too, don't we? Of course we do. And we can take the repair kit out of here. Are these different? No, they're exact. Oh no, these are a little heavier, but there we go. Leave 1 space. I think that should work okay. Maybe another repair kit. All right, we'll see how this goes. Now, where am I at for Delta V? 1319. That should be okay. It's a little on the tall side, isn't it? Oh, a little on the tall side. What? Let's see here. I got... Again, looking at fuel cans. Fuel cans. Arranging them by mass. Now, I don't have a good... I think... That. What's that for Delta V? See, if anything, that's a little bit on the big side. That should work. And where are my landing struts? I might just do, take that out, take that out. Oh, it's going to be that way. Arr. Sorry, I'm just trying to get nodes where I need them to be. Okay. Trying to just get this thing to be shorter. Put this upside down. This is not working. Okay, I just need another probe body. Just skim. Hang on, bear with me. Oh, I do have the mark. No. We won't. We'll stay with. Oh no, they got to re-enter. Sorry. Hex. This is what I'm thinking about. All I'm trying to do is get all the bits that I had just now, but get it in there shorter. Oh, solar panels I'm going to need too. But I think I should be okay. Just want to try and get this to be as short as it can be. Where's the center mass on this? What I might just do. That off. That off. This off. Put the reaction wheels here. That there. I think that immediately looks better. Okay. But now 1339 meters per second at delta V is great. Why did this come on? There we go. I think we might be getting into something that might work. Let's see. All right, let's configure this pod because I really do have to think about this. Crew report can go on waiting. Configure the pod. I got to think about life support. It absolutely needs to have a scrubber. I want it to have pressure control so that they don't have to wear the spacesuits all the way. I now have a water recycler. Wow, so I have a water recycler. I can recycle and waste water. That's, I think, unnecessary. I also have a monopropellant oxygen fuel cell. I think the pressure control is the better thing. Okay, we need to think about solar. I have killed my Rob DeVos says, have you killed your first Kerbal yet? And the answer is yes, I have, but not in space. Okay, let's see. Electricity. 1.87. And... oh, I'm on electricity. What am I talking about? Here we go. We are consuming 0.1. We don't need a lot of electrical storage. It should be okay just with, or not, I'm sorry, a lot of electrical generation. What does it look like if I put, again, just aux-sats? I do have better solar panels, but that honestly should do it. Just like that. It's a little bit, okay. It's going to be bad when they're on the surface, but they won't be spending a lot of time on the surface. And then some batteries. Right now, the electricity without generation will last for 1 hour and 49 minutes. But with adding batteries, now they got 2 hours worth of electricity. I want to make sure that if something... I want to get it up to about a day. So, like, if they end up coming back during a Kerbal eclipse or something like that, that they're able to handle that okay. Here. Let's get to the big ones. They will now... 3 hours worth of electricity. Times symmetry. 4 hours and 21 minutes worth of electricity. Yeah, what about the fuel cell? It might not be entirely stupid. Can I configure this fuel cell to run off of other things? Right now it runs off of hydrogen and oxygen. Oh, I can change it to run out of monopropellant. Then you're going to need extra oxygen. Okay, I think that's not a bad idea. Let's take these off. Here. I'm going to stick this in here. One monopropellant fuel cell on that side. How much mass does the monopropellant fuel cell have? 50 kilograms. And this battery is 20 kilograms. Well, that'll balance it off enough, I suppose. So this is a monopropellant fuel cell. It'll run off of monopropellant and oxygen. There is monopropellant in here, correct? There is not. I have no monopropellant aboard. Am I missing something? No, I'm not. So I need to have some monopropellant aboard. So we will put on there. The default for this should be that it's off. Yep. And oxygen aboard. So according to this, think I'm going to need to get out a calculator. There is enough monopropellant. It consumes 2.7 units of monopropellant per minute. And there are 15 units of monopropellant aboard. So there is enough monopropellant. Let's see here. 15 divided by... where is it? 0.27. And that gives me 50, only 55, so an hour. God, I can only run it for an hour? That's not good. Okay, let's double that up. So that's 2 hours plus the batteries. I'm hoping that's going to be okay. So that should run it for about 2 hours for worth of monopropellant. How much oxygen do they require to run for 2 hours? That's 3,600 seconds times 2. 7,200 seconds times 2.553, which is the rate at which it consumes oxygen. That's about 1,800 units of extra oxygen I'd like to put on here. We do have small pressurized tanks. Let's just put one of them on here for now. Each of these holds 1,700 units of oxygen. So if I put it down to about 1020 and then double them, that should be the oxygen they need. Put them here. 2 of them. All right. Okay, so that should take care of electricity, all in theory. We'll see how this goes. I'm still at 1267 meters per second at delta V, which I think is okay. I'm playing with textures now. Let's do that. These landing legs I can tell need to be lower down. So let's go through the checklist. Make sure, I'm sure I'm missing things here. So fine print, there's no fine print. We're just gotta land moon control. We're doing okay, I think, for control. We can put this onto one of these. Is for reliability. Redundancy is okay. Only one means of life support. That's the biggest issue. Control's not an issue. I've configured the probe. Oh, I'm in the dummy. Change checklist. I need to be in my crude craft checklist. There we go. Cabin space has been considered. Oxygen, water, and food. They have 5 days of food. I think I should give them a little bit more. It's typically a day out to the moon and a day back, so 2 days almost, but that's, I think, cutting things thin in case things go wrong. So I'm going to get the small life support box. I'm going to put it right here. And this has food and water in it. They now have 32 days of food and 25 days of water. 16 days of food. There's a lot of food in this thing. 10 days of food. We'll leave it with 10 days of food. 9 days of water. Okay, let's give them a little bit more water. 11 days of water. And then on the other side, I need to give them... Oh, I put... Shoot, I did double that. Silly. Only one. Get over 10 days for both of them. There we go. And for oxygen, I'm going to take these two off for now because I also want... They need oxygen to breathe. Grab a small pressurized tank, just one. Go to oxygen. They have 27 days of oxygen, which won't matter if they run out of water. So we'll bring this down to about 10 days too. There we go. 11 days, 5 hours worth of oxygen. And then we can put these two oxygen containers back on. And that's for running the fuel cell, which hopefully we'll never need. Okay, so that should take care of oxygen, water, food. Waste doesn't matter. We're just going to dump that out the window. Radiation protection should be okay because we're not going to spend that much time in space. Science, there's really not much for them to do. Oh, let's check these containers because I got a feeling they got messed up. Yeah, I thought so. So, just checking storage here. Yeah. They need cargo. They need the EVA experiment kit. That's for the deployable stuff. They need a repair kit. And one more of these lights. So that takes care of science. Power generation I've looked at. Electrical storage I've looked at. Antenna strength. They don't have an antenna on here. They just need a single Communitron. A single Communitron 16. Try again. Okay, so that is communications. The antenna strength and speed will be fine. Data storage. How much data is generated by these experiments? That's a very good question because all they're going to do are crew reports and EVA reports. If I go to Kerbalism Science, take a look at EVA reports. They're just 250 kilobytes worth of data. Crew reports is 200 kilobytes of data, and the EVA science experiments too, so really just they got 6 megabytes of data, so they're fine. Oh, I guess they'll be taking surface samples. Very good point. They have 15 sample slots. That's not a problem. Okay, so that's not a problem. Data storage is fine. Propulsion, we should have some means of backup propulsion. I've gone through this before. They have a thrust to weight of 1. That'll be fine. But let's put on, seems to become my staple for backup propulsion, is a trio of ant engines. This trio of ant engines has a thrust to weight of 0.13. What's that on the moon? On the moon, that's a thrust to weight ratio, where is it here? A 0.79, so that's not even enough to get them off the surface of the moon. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, that's a thrust ratio of 1.18, so this could technically get them off the surface of the moon and get them on their way back to Kerbin. Did I completely botch my Delta V, though, in doing that? That is the question. Change this body back to Kerbin. 1229, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine for if they're on this to do part of the landing and to get back. Okay, and these will be backup engines only. Okay, where are we at? Propulsion's good. RCS doesn't have it. Parachutes, they do have it. Thermal protection, we got that. Lights! Gotta have lights. So I'm going to use these little spotlights here. Four-way symmetry. Is there a texture change they can make? Oh, that's not. I like the light. I like the white. That looks all right. Here, I got too many windows open. Let's close a lot of this stuff. There we go. Let's see if we can tweak them a little bit. So, tuck them in a little bit more. Yeah, me likey. And then what we're going to do is on the action groups, on the gear action group, we'll toggle these lights so that when we deploy the gear, when we're ready to land, these will come on. These will be landing lights. Okay, we also need to have like lights, like for looks, because it's got to look good. 6-way symmetry. How does that look? Is that... Yeah, none of them are crashing into anything. White. Make them... Yeah. Make them red. And... we'll take some of these little spotlights. There's not a lot of room in here. This is really packed. I like it when it's packed, but not a lot of room. Upside. Can I put them on? Oh, I can put them up here. Okay. This is just to light up this sort of interior area. Should work, I think. They'll just be white. Just a light up in there. Okay. We need a blue light. I like the idea of putting a single blue light above the... above here. That will be blue. And then, of course, the customary red and green lights. I'm thinking... might just put 2 of them here. Okay, this light. Oh, I'm hitting that there. No, I think dark looks best. What do we got? That is the right side, so it should be green. And you know what? Let's put the blink on for those. And blink on, and then we will... Oh, I only got 1. Silly. There. So again, green, blinks on, half a second interval. Grab this one. Remove the symmetry. Exactly the same, except it's red. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Ladder to get down to the surface. Anybody in the chat saying that? We need a ladder to get down to the surface, man. You know, I'm not quite sure how they come out of this pond. I'm not that... Oh, that is not nearly long enough. I don't have the longer one. We'll test this on the surface of Kerbin and make sure it's going to work okay for us. Oh, I got 2 of them going. That's not good. Not sure if the Kerbals can make that transfer there or not. But we'll find out. It almost reaches the surface. Actually, what I could do... Just hang on a second. Let's take this off. Red light's in the way. If I use... Here. Restock comes with these really nice ladder bits that are longer. Like, they got really long ones too. These are great when you get stations and stuff, so they're not always just these little short ones. But I'm thinking maybe I can use that. That's what I'm thinking about. And again, I'm not sure if Kerbals can make that transition or not, but I just want something that they can get that will reach right down to the surface. Technically, you don't really need these because they could just use their EVA packs to fly about. That should be okay. I think that'll work. Test the surface science too. Yeah, at some point I need to test that surface science. That's very, very true. I always kind of mess up the surface science. I'm not that good at it. Forgetting what it is that the engineer needs to do and what the Kerbal needs to do. We are definitely going to upgrade this engine, considering that their lives depend on it. So it's lights, upgrade cargo we played with. Thrust to weight is okay. Not had to get into fairings or staging. So I think this is something, let's throw this away for now. This is what I'm planning on landing on the moon, right here. All we got to do is build a stage that can lift this thing. A stage that can get this thing to the moon and start the descent. And then this thing should be able to land and get back home. That's the plan. And then to build a booster that can lift it. It is going to be the biggest thing by far that I've built so far, but I think I should be okay. Worst comes to worst, what I can do is send this to the moon on a separate booster, put it in orbit, rendezvous with it with another vessel, and then they can just get in. But I'd rather not do that. I would rather not do that. So I think what I want to do, save it. Let's put it to a very quick little test. Bill's gonna go here. Let's put Bob in there. I just want to see if they can get in and out okay and get access to the gear and all of that kind of thing. So let's save this. Let's run the simulator on the launch pad. Okay, oh, flight Kerbal engineers getting in the way here. Shoot. Another thing that I need to get away. Yeah, there. Get rid of contracts for now. We'll deal with that later. Put the lights on, see how they look. Yeah, it's okay. All right, let's see. Let's EVA Bob. Oh, they do come out in the middle. I was worried that the hatches are on the side here. Okay, can he climb? Oh, look at that. Easy peasy. Bob makes it look like it's nothing. Grab that. Go back up. No problemo. And then when it comes to the gear, I have no idea. Can you access these containers from inside, or do you have to go outside for them? This is why it's nice to have one free slot so you can do things like, whoops, you know, play musical parts. So like if I wanted to give Bob this, does it go from here? Oh yeah, it does. So we can shuffle all this stuff around inside here. So that should work out okay. Yeah, I learned that one. Leave one free open spot so that you can move things around the way you need them. Okay, let's end this simulation. That went all right. And then what I think I'm gonna do, because I am looking at the stream time, is I think I'm gonna put this build off until Thursday. I think I have something that I think should service me all right for getting at least from the surface of the moon and back to Kerbin again. What I need to do is get this thing to the surface of the moon. But I think that's going to, finishing off this build, I think is going to have to happen for Thursday. And maybe on Thursday we'll send a couple of Kerbals on their way. But right now I think I'm going to wrap this particular stream up. I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody who is watching this at a later time. And we'll see you all again on Thursday. Bye.